Okay, so some of you might have heard that there are issues between the Lungu family and the government Republic of Zambia, the government of the Republic of Zambia, concerning the arrangement for the burial of the former head of state who passed on in South Africa. Okay, now those issues escalated. Now those issues have gone to a much higher level now. And you know that some of you might have heard that actually when the former president of Zambia went to South Africa, he was admitted at a hospital in South Africa using first a Zimbabwean passport, that's number one, and then under another name, not Edgar Chagwa Lungu, you know. So that's the first issue. But then of course, that can be overlooked because, of course, he was the president, and maybe because he wanted to disguise himself using that name because of security purposes, for security purposes, if I put it that way, which is okay. But now, the death certificate, what is going to be contained on the death certificate? You know, so there are such kind of issues. Now, as of yesterday, President Hakainde Hichilema actually met up with Ozzy Lamora from South Africa, the Minister of International Affairs in South Africa. So they met up here in Lusaka, Zambia, and they discussed a number of issues. And afterwards, the President of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, issued the following statement, and I want you guys to pay attention to this one. This tells you what is going to happen next. Okay, now let me just do this so that we actually I'm just going to put it up here so that you guys will be able to know what I'm actually talking about. Okay. All right. So here's a statement which the president of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, actually put out yesterday after that meeting which they had with the South African Minister of International Affairs. So he says, we were honored to receive a courtesy call from Mr. Ronald Ozzy Lamora, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Africa. And it goes on to say, Minister Lamora conveyed heartfelt condolences from His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa and the people of South Africa on the passing of our 60th Republican President, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We held a meaningful and respectful discussions regarding the burial of the late president, during which we reaffirmed our firm position that His Excellency, Mr. Edgar Lungu, should be laid to rest in his homeland, the Republic of Zambia. Okay, that's now the government of Zambia telling the South African government that they reaffirm their position. You remember that some days ago, the president also mentioned that he wants the former head of state to be buried in Zambia. Now, it goes on here and says, we extend our sincere gratitude to the President of South Africa for the care extended to our late president during his period of illness. We also express our apologies to the South African National Defense Force for unexpected challenges surrounding the repatriation of the late president's remains on Wednesday, 18th June 2025. And yeah, of course, written by His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, and the number of pictures here, which you can see, I'm going to put right here so that you guys are able to see. Okay, that was a statement that was made by the Zambian president. Okay, but now, what did the South African government after this meeting say? So the Ministry of International Affairs in South Africa also put up a statement after that particular meeting with the president of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, and this is what they actually said. This was the 23rd of June 2025, which is about a few hours ago. So this is media statement. The Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Ronald Lamora, MP, on Sunday concluded a high-level diplomatic mission to Lusaka, Republic of Zambia, as Presidential Special Envoy. Okay, it says Minister Lamora was received by His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, to whom he conveyed President Ramaphosa's profound condolences on behalf of the government and people of South Africa. Minister Lamora expressed solidarity with the government and citizens of Zambia following the untimely passing of former President Edgar Lungu, assuring them of South Africa's unwavering support during this period of national mourning. Okay? In reaffirming the South African government's position, Minister Lamora emphasized that a state burial in Zambia represents the most fitting tribute to honor former President Lungu's distinguished legacy and services to the Zambian nation. And then here, so now you can see here that also the South African government would prefer that Lungu is actually buried in Zambia. That's one thing you should note. And then concurrently, they say here, it says, concurrently, Minister Lamora acknowledged the legal obligation to respect the expressed wishes of the late former president's immediate family. Okay, at the same time. Okay, so again here they go on and says, he underscored the government's commitment to navigating this sensitive matter with the utmost dignity, grace, and mutual respect principles befitting the memory of a revered statesman and the enduring bonds between South Africa and Zambia. Okay, then it goes on to say the minister extended prayers and sympathies to all affected by this loss and reiterated South Africa's steadfast friendship with Zambia. Okay, so this is the statement that is issued. Now here again, from this statement, there is no, of course, the South African government hasn't said expressly that they've given this, they've granted the wishes of the family, the family of the Lungu family, you know, like that they are going to bury in South Africa. No, they are saying yes, their wishes is to bury in South Africa, but the Zambian government and the South African government would want this burial to actually take place in Zambia. Okay, now today is another day, it's a Wednesday, and this is a day when people want to actually, this is the day we're expecting that the burial is supposed to take place. Okay, but now, so far we haven't heard from the government of South Africa. We haven't heard that they've given the Lungu family a go-ahead. Until that time, that's when we're going to say, when we hear them now, to say, okay, they've gotten the permit and things like that, then we'll actually know. So they're actually, the Lungu family, before Lungu actually passed on, they had bought some houses. Actually, Lungu has a farm in South Africa, and also they have a number of houses right in South Africa. Okay, so you know, it's more like they were preparing, you know, or they were actually investing in South Africa, so that this is why this insistence to actually bury him in South Africa is coming from, if I may put it that way, you know, because it doesn't make sense for me like to you know, like as a daughter or as a son of somebody to go and say, okay, I'm going to bury my father in a foreign country and leave him there and come back to Zambia. Jump on a plane, come back to Zambia. That doesn't make like any sense at all. So I really don't understand this war thing. Looking at how things are actually panning out, we are actually going to see by the end of today, I can tell you, we will be availed with more information. If the burial is actually going to take place today, information is actually going to come out. But so far, yes, the information that is there is that they have a grave somewhere where they are preparing everything, but we haven't heard. Of course, the South African government says it's the wishes of the family that they want to bury in South Africa, and you know, should they give them a go-ahead? That is another thing. You know, that is another thing. It's we'll be able to know about that one today before the day actually dies, because it has been almost 3 weeks now since the passing on of the president. He died on the 5th of June, and today is actually the 23rd, 24th. So you can see how many weeks have actually gone by so far. So yeah, almost 3 weeks. So it's that time that they need to bury him now. Okay, but in as much as a Zambian is concerned, like on the part of Zambians, honestly, the truth to be told, we've been deprived of a chance to mourn one of the presidents of Zambia, somebody that ruled this country for about 7 years. We've been deprived the opportunity to mourn him right here on our soils. We've been deprived of the opportunity to actually pay our last respect, you know, to this great son of the soil. You know, if this is how we are going to move forward, honestly, I don't think, you know, it's more like it's where we are here. It's more like politics of vengeance that is being played. You know, just because this one treated this one bad during this time, and this one also when he's got the state ammunitions, the state machinery, they also use it against the other individual. Now imagine if, for example, the current president also was to get back in opposition, you know, get back in opposition, and then somebody else comes in. Should that trend actually continue? You know, those are the questions that we need to start asking ourselves, especially as Zambians. Is this the way we want our country to be run, or we need to change the direction of our political spectrum? You know, we need to look at things for me, I think we need to look at things in more of a different angle, to say, look, yes, the former guys have been doing it this way, but let us do it this way. You know, that is what I'm looking at. And if you look at the current opposition parties in Zambia, now this is a topic that I'm going to discuss in details at a later stage as a Zambian, because the current oppositions parties, they don't have a leader who can stand up and say, we are going to lead Zambia, we're going to take this forward, let me organize myself and put everyone in order. We don't have that. And President Edgar Lungu has left a big gap in the so-called PF party, because even in PF, they don't have a good leader. Now, I know some of you were actually going to come for me. The thing is, PF doesn't have a good leader in that so-called NCC of theirs. They don't have a leader that can actually stand up, you know, and talk to people, convince people that they actually have the qualities and they can actually lead Zambia. So far, you have seen for yourselves the people that are talking on behalf of PF, the people that are talking, the people that are in that alliance, so-called the Tonse Alliance, they lack a lot of leadership skills, because they can't probably, some of you have watched some videos that I posted on my other YouTube channel, where these leaders are actually talking. You can see that this one is talking rubbish, this one is talking, they don't have those signs of a leader in them. You can't see any leadership in such kind of people. But now, let us just get back to the topic at hand, because the fact is that the Lungu burial is supposed to take place today. Today is a Wednesday, but let us watch out for this space. And you guys, if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing so that we keep dropping these videos and talk about a lot of things that are actually happening all around Africa and the world at large. Today we are in Zambia, and we are actually looking at the Lungu family and the government of Zambia, South African government as well. Just to be clear as well, is the issue of burying in South Africa is not a decision that is being made by the South African government or the government of the Republic of Zambia. Like, those two governments have actually agreed. It's not the two of them that are actually deciding this. You know, it is the wishes of the family that Lungu should be buried in South Africa at this particular moment. But I can tell you that as a grieving family, this is a reason why things are happening like that. Otherwise, if they can sit down, relax, and breathe, you know, breathe. Come on, guys, like, breathe. You are going to notice that they are going to actually come to realization that this is actually a wrong decision that they're actually making, you know. But only that they don't have that time to think properly and make a proper decision, you know. And also, we've seen, like, from the PF at the start of this whole thing, when the funeral was announced, the PF spoke as if they were in contact with the family and they were helping the family make the decisions. But you can see from the these latest videos that where the Tonse Alliance have been speaking, you can tell that they were also now distancing themselves, saying that we were not involved in decisions. We are not involved in those decisions. So they are more like any other Zambian as well. They are just watching from a distance. And now, because they are affiliated to Lungu, they are all now going to South Africa to go and mourn and bury our President Lungu in there without having a say. Just to advise, because for me, I'm looking at it this way. These are the guys that can simply advise the Lungu family and say, yes, you haven't called us to come and advise, but surely this is our position as PF party, as a party where Lungu actually, the party which Lungu saved, you know. So those are things that they should have actually looked into. If South African government doesn't want Lungu to be buried in South Africa, the Zambian government doesn't want Lungu to be buried in South Africa, the PF party doesn't want Lungu to be buried in South Africa, honestly, those three can actually convince the family to say, okay, I think we are making a wrong decision here. Let us take the remains of our father, our uncle back to Zambia and bury him there. That would be dignifying, you know. But since they've made that decision, let's wait and see if they are going to go ahead today. We still have time. They can change their mind. And there are a lot of people, I'm sure, businessmen that were friends to the Lungu family that can actually charter a plane right away, right today. Because it only takes about 1 hour 45 minutes to actually travel from South Africa to Zambia. So that can be done in no time. So things can change. So let us keep waiting and see how this war saga is actually going to pan out. But personally, I hope it pans out in favor of the Zambian people, because the Zambian people have been deprived of an opportunity to actually mourn their former president. And if he can be brought back to Zambia like today, that would be nice. But let's wait and see how things are actually going to unfold today. Make sure that you like this video so that YouTube can actually get to show it to more people, and subscribe, share it to more people. I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye. Take care of yourselves.